So, good morning, everyone. Good day, and welcome to another video of mine, which I will be explaining to live coding in MySQL Workbench. So, for today's video, I will be doing the activity 5, which is titled Triggers. So, as you can see on my screen, we're going to be doing 6 kinds of triggers: after insert, before insert, after update, before update, after delete, and before delete triggers. So before we proceed to the actual coding that we normally do, I will be explaining to you guys what is a trigger. So a trigger is kind of like a stored program that automatically executes when a specific event occurs in a table. So for example, there's a deleting of records, adding records. So if those things occur and if there is a trigger set up, that trigger will automatically execute depending on what exec whatever SQL instructions you have given into it. So just take note guys, that placing too many triggers can affect your database performance if it's not optimized. So yeah, let's get into it. Open your workbench, MySQL Workbench, just like so. Going to be opening our MySQL connection. If you guys can remember, I created my database block B, which has 7 tables: attendance, courses, enrollments, grades, professors, students, and transactions. Based on my previous video, we have created functions and procedures. If you haven't watched that video, just click on the previous video on my channel. So we will be creating triggers for now. Let's go File, New Query tab. So before I get started, I will show you guys the basic format of creating a trigger. So that's create trigger. it like returns a current date in year, month, and day format. So for example, current date you add there, it will output example 2025 03 20, something like that. Current date it will prompt. So that's how current date works. And since we're done, don't forget the delimiter. Okay, that's for our first after insert trigger. So what does this do? It automatically inserts a default transaction after a new student has been added. Okay, on to the next trigger, which is before insert. So again, the limiter, two backticks. You have to really do this, type this on and on and on so you can remember, learn. This is how programmers learn how to code. They just don't watch videos, they do it. They execute the commands on their computers. For each row, begin. So this time around, we are going to be using an if statement. So if do great, this is how you do it. Let's say condition. Because this on our second trigger, our goal is to validate grades before inserting. So we will try to ensure that the numbers fall between 1, which is passing, 1 to 5. So beyond that is not passing. Okay? Or new grade is greater than 5.0, then signal SQL state for 500 or for 5000, set message text equal to invalid grade must be between 1.0 and 5.0. So as you can see, this is like an error handling. It shows the user like, hey, you got this wrong. So it's not really a technical thing. It's more on your end, make things easier to know what type of error it is. So again, we start with a delimiter, we end with a delimiter. Proceed again for our third type of trigger, which is after update. So after update on the number 3, our goal here is to log attendance as updated after a transaction has been modified. So again, delimiter, create trigger after update update transactions, that's our name for this type of trigger. After update on transactions for each row For each row, begin, insert into attendance, student ID, course ID, date log, current status. So these are again parameters of attendance. Values, the new student ID 1. Again, we have the current date here. Current date returns the current date. Updated. Close that. And we hit the end. And here, start with a delimiter and with a delimiter. Okay. Now we proceed to our number 4 trigger, which is before update. So in this before update, we will ensure that professor's name are not left empty before an update. So the delimiter create trigger before update professors. Before update on professors for each row. Begin if another if statement, if new f name, that's first name, then signal SQL state for 5000, set message text equal to professor name cannot be empty. End it with a semicolon. Alright. And if and if and end right here. And delimiter. So yeah, that's for our fourth delimiter. So our number 5 would be after delete. So after delete will be applied to our students table. So again, delimiter create trigger after delete students after delete on table students for each row begin insert into transactions student ID the amount transaction date values old student ID 0 per date. Then we end it from here, delimiter. Okay, this kind of trigger adds a transaction log. So it adds a transaction log after a student has been deleted. Okay, so for our last trigger, which is before delete, we'll be doing it for the table courses. So what we're gonna do is we're going to be cleaning up enrollments before deleting a course. So delimiter, create trigger before delete courses, before delete on courses for each row. Begin delete from enrollments where course ID is equal to old course ID. Yeah, and end it. Just it's just it. Let's just start query. It's really short. It's really short. This cleans up enrollments before deleting a course. Okay. So after this, you just have to execute everything. Me, I just executed this earlier, so I do not need to have this executed. So to check guys, this is how you check if triggers has been set correctly. You type in show triggers from and your database name. For me, it's Blockby. So yes, you can actually open your yes, let's put it here. Let's open our command prompt. Okay. Okay. What is it again? Show triggers, right? From block B. Okay, when this lines show, that means you have successfully created triggers, the triggers that have been set earlier. Okay, so that's that. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this finds you, or this gives you valuable information about MySQL triggers. I hope you learned something new, and I hope you click the like button, show some support. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.